I started hearing whispers of Thrawn's return as heir to the Empire.
What happens when we find Thrawn?
Power, such as you've never dreamed.
Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. This is FiveXFive and I'm Simo. If you haven't already, grab your fave bevy, a seat, and let's get into it. Ahsoka premiered and I want to give you my first impressions. This is going to be a bit of a spoiler discussion, so if you haven't watched it yet... Alright, so right off the top, yes, it's good. It's good. It's very good. I'm giving it a 5 out of 5 stars, with the caveat that the rest of the season needs to fill in some of the blanks. The first 2 episodes are all that's been released so far, but they were really strong and really solid. The rest of the season is going to need to answer the questions that aren't being answered in the first 2 episodes, though. If it answers those questions, it'll be an easy, knock it out of the ballpark 5 out of 5. I highly recommend this show for any Star Wars fans, and especially Clone Wars and Rebels fans. About a week before the premiere, Dave Filoni gave an interview, I think, to Entertainment Weekly, and he basically said that the show is a backdoor Season 5 for Star Wars Rebels. So if you are a Star Wars Rebels fan, you should be really excited to hear that. It is absolutely a love letter to Star Wars Rebels and Clone Wars fans. It's for you. And it feels like it too. The show feels like, in tone and atmosphere, and the cast, of course, the cast of characters, it feels like Season 5 of Rebels. As a Rebels enjoyer and a deep Clone Wars fan, I totally loved the premiere 2 episodes. Special note, thank God they brought back Kevin Kiner. He did the scores for Clone Wars, Bad Batch, and Rebels. And as far as I'm concerned, he's the modern John Williams. It's not Star Wars unless Kiner is doing the score for it. I miss his scores in all of the modern Star Wars shows so much. I wasn't a fan, or I'm not a fan, of the sort of experimental Western style score that they have going in Mandalorian and a couple of the other shows either. Actually, I did like the sort of techno score of Andor, but it didn't feel very Star Warsy to me, so whatever. Kiner is my guy. I'm glad they brought him back. It feels like Star Wars. As soon as you hear the score, you're like, Kiner's back. I knew it was him right away. So the first 2 episodes that we've seen build heavily on the story and not plot holes, but threads left untouched or unanswered or unaddressed through Clone Wars and through Rebels. For example, the Night Sisters. I mean, a lot of fans have questions about the Night Sisters, where they came from and what they're all about. And they haven't been explored in canon. I mean, we've seen them a lot in Clone Wars, and we've had a lot of questions answered to a certain degree, but we don't know much about their origins or their real relationship with the Force or their relationship to the Sith and the Jedi. We just know that they access the Force in a very different way, and they are described as witches, but we don't know their origins or anything. And it looks like the show is really going to explore that, with Morgan Elsbeth being a Night Sister, a surviving Night Sister, because of course the Night Sisters were genocided by Count Dooku in the Clone Wars. So there's very few of them left. It looks like we're going to get to learn more about them though, and where they came from and their origins though, because we've actually visited some of their temples now in the show. I didn't expect that. So I'm a little worried that new fans are going to be lost with all of these different characters and new ideas that are being kind of explored in the show. By new fans, I mean like fans that are only fans of the mainstream movies. If they have been sticking with Clone Wars and Rebels and the other animated shows and the other Disney Plus series, they're probably going to be fine. But if they think of themselves as a Star Wars fan, but they've only been following the Star Wars movies and seen those 9 movies over the last 30 years, they're going to be scratching their heads wondering what's happening and where a lot of these newer characters come from. And they are right. They are literally right out of Star Wars Rebels specific. So I think they might be a little bit lost. But the nice thing about the first 2 episodes of the premiere, or the first 2 episodes of the series, is the pace of them. It's very much a building up pace, which is very conducive to natural, organic onboarding of new fans. And it kind of implies that they're kind of building the mystery up around these questions and trying to give fans, existing fans and new fans, time to meet these new characters and fall in love with them. If the pacing is specifically for onboarding new fans, then it shouldn't be a problem. The questions will all be answered, and you'll get that chance to build those relationships with these new characters in the next upcoming episodes. But if something falls apart and they don't spend any of that time giving fans a chance to get to know these characters, then it might fall apart. That's the caveat that I was referring to at the top of the video. They have to do that legwork. They do that, everything will be fine. If not, maybe not. We'll see. And because of that, I'm not sure if this show is going to resonate with older fans of the franchise that haven't watched Star Wars Rebels or Clone Wars. I think this is an easy win for anyone that is a fan of those shows and has been following them. But if they haven't, I'm a little worried that it won't resonate. If they take that time, though, there's plenty of meat in the first 2 episodes and plenty of questions poised and mysteries started to engage and get the curiosity of an audience going. So if they do that, I think there's plenty of meat there for people to grind their teeth on and get into and get sucked into. And if the whole season is as good as these first 2 episodes, oh my god, I enjoyed these so much. Anyhow, I just wanted to give you guys my first impression of the show. I hope you watched it. If you haven't, there's still time to catch up before this Tuesday's next episode. So that's it. That's all I've got. I just wanted to give you my first impressions. We'll see how the rest of the season goes. That's a wrap for now. Don't forget to click like and subscribe. I'll see you all in the next video. Stay safe and look out for each other.